With eBay Refurbished, you have a choice of refurbished qualities to best fit your budget. Certified refurbished items are restored by the manufacturer to like new for up to 50% off. This drill was barely out of the box. Soon it will be back to working like new. Here's how it works. Every item is carefully inspected. Any imperfections are fixed by the manufacturer or manufacturer-approved vendor. Then it's tested to make sure it's working perfectly. Once it passes inspection, it's given the verified stamp of approval. Then repackaged with new accessories and shipped to its ultimate destination. With Certified Refurbished, you can shop with confidence because all our manufacturers go through a rigorous vetting process. And every purchase comes with an award-winning 2-year warranty, a money-back guarantee, and hassle-free returns. That's what makes it the smarter way to shop for premium brands. eBay Refurbished. Like new products, better than new prices.
Welcome everybody back to Knights Arena Valorant Challengers North America. One series going 3 maps, but we're still gonna have Valorant up ahead for everybody. We got to see a VALORANT for 2 teams that have been doing really well. M80 of course has been this powerhouse of a squad, and TSM have been consistent through and through. And now it's time to turn our eyes to a couple of teams that have struggled a little bit. Dan, they've been a little bit shaky, but hey, one of them today is going to be able to get that win, go at least 1-1, and maybe be on that road to redemption to show us a little bit more of what they're capable of.
Yeah, those 2 teams being FaZe and Mad-Lions. 2 teams, like you said, have been struggling quite a lot. Have also made some changes for both of the squads, but it is still the question, are those changes enough to bring these 2 teams up? And one of them, especially for a victory that they absolutely need, right? FaZe is just right in the middle of the table, while Mad-Lions is at the bottom. And I feel like for the second split, we had 2 versions of teams. One version of teams is the teams that remain the same, the teams that stay consistent, and from that core of players that they keep, they are improving and looking better and better than being M80, Guard, Moist, all those teams. And the other version of teams is the teams that made changes, and now they are with the back against the wall to make sure that the changes actually give them results to make it to all the way to playoffs. So these are the 2 teams that you are looking at being that second option. We made those changes, now can they deliver the results?
Yeah, a lot of pressure on the new players. I think maybe some of that pressure relieved in week 1, kind of getting the tough, in air quotes, the tough matchup out of the way, whereas Mad-Lions had to play the new Group B Demons that are Moist Moguls, you know, at the top, and FaZe also had to play the Guard, right? So a very strong or difficult week 1 for both of these teams. And it's nice that obviously early in this one, somebody has to come out of this with a win. And if your schedule is looking a little bit easier from here on out, right, you're looking at, if Mad-Lions get the win here, maybe they can transition that into some more momentum, because we know how strong this team can be. And they've done good in picking up additions that work for them.
With the last 5 matches for both of the teams, FaZe going 0-5, and for the set of Mad-Lions going 1-4. But I think it goes back to, you know, the good thing is that one of them gets away with a win.
And I think that might be nice just for the spirit too, for the soul going on for it. And at least they were able to rip off the Band-Aid in last week and going up against more difficult teams. Get it over with, get the growing pain done, and go into this week renewed. You're talking about that not so great scoreline coming into this. The last 5 games looking really rough. The only win being up against the OR Esports of old there, Dan. So this could be a way to be putting up a win against somebody else.
And there's a chance, maybe the only chance that this side of Mad-Lions had, a team that had really struggled so much, even last week. I know the casters were kind of calling it out. Mad-Lions, they had to make changes, and they made those changes. But again, are those changes enough? Because the individuals, yeah, are great, but the adaptation time is something to consider. And against a FaZe that, in a scenario like this one, is going to capitalize from those mistakes and play even more aggressive on your baby rate, it just seems like FaZe should be slightly favored for it.
And we got to see the last few series, including games from Split 1 for Mad-Lions right there. And they finally get their win at the end of it all against OR Esports. A 3-map series goes a distance. They obviously didn't play a mid-season face-off, but I think again, starting this one, getting an early win for this Mad Lions team could be huge in way of bolstering this confidence of the two new players who have to find a way to work their way in, but then also further kind of increasing the stonks that we have for this Narrate guy who's been so huge for them.
We'll have to see if they can be pulling out that win, though, and that confidence going up against FaZe today, though. And FaZe, especially looking at the players on this team, is a team that I always expect a bit more from, in all honesty. They made some roster changes. These are two players that I also really liked coming into the squad, too. But this is the time, Dan, if we can see if it could all really start to come together.
And again, it has to be this match. If there's going to be a start for this new FaZe squad, it has to be for this match against Mad Lions. And if you want to feel confident about the FaZe squad for what is left out of the split 2 and even the future for playoffs and everything else that's to come after, they need to have a dominant performance. But honestly, it does not feel like it's going to be too one-sided. It feels like it's going to be a lot of back and forth with the two teams figuring it out. So I'd say, and it goes back to the one win condition for FaZe, is are they going to be able to play that own style that we know them for? Are they going to be able to position BabyBay for success? Because if so, then there is a good chance they can take it in 2. If not, I can potentially see us going to the third map.
And Dryad, you mentioned, as we take a peek at the last 5 games, these some of these included or including mid-season face-off for FaZe. So it's been a streak of 5 series losses for this team, 2 of which come from the guard, 1 of which comes from Moist, which we now look at today as regarded as one of the stronger teams. G2 obviously placing second in that mid-season face-off. So it has not been an easy run. This could be kind of that fluff match that FaZe need. Not to say that it's going to be easy, because you mentioned those changes, but those 2 players, Tig and Mummy, what they did on their last team, that internal troop, was bolster the confidence of the rest of the team. They played well themselves. Tig played incredible in the short time that he had on that team, but also everybody else was playing well. We saw Weeded starting to step up, right? It was when that week 3 had hit that we really saw Turtle Troop start to turn things around. So I think, you continue to give this FaZe team more time, and that confidence is going to continue to rise.
There's definitely a couple of areas where I'm looking at both of these teams heading into today and where people need to be stepping up, and we can maybe look to for that. And for a head-to-head, we're going to be looking a little bit more into this duelist slot. Now, on the one end, Narrate was somebody that there was a lot of question marks around when he came into the squad of Mad Lions, being this ranked demon that we didn't really get to know too much about, Dan. But then that's necessarily not too bad, and going into today's matchup, the direct comparison with BabyBay here is kind of start.
For the match of week 1, Narrate was fighting demons to make rounds happen, and it was very difficult. Obviously, they don't end up with the win, but it really just showcased a little bit of what Narrate is capable of doing. While on the other side, we know the player that BabyBay is. Everybody talks about him when they talk about FaZe. BabyBay, so aggressive. He always gets away with his style, with his aggression, but sometimes he doesn't, and he gets shot down very early on. So it seems like the one really real win condition they're gonna have for the two teams to have, especially a dominant performance, is gonna be who's gonna be on top of their game today. Is it gonna be Narrate and the rest of Mad Lions, or is it gonna be FaZe and BabyBay?
Yeah, and I think when you look at that bottom stat again, much like we had in the first series, we see first kills, first deaths. You expect a lot of first kills, or well, you hope for more first kills and first deaths from your duelists, and you see that BabyBays aren't great, but BabyBays also, I don't know whether it's his doing, coach is getting in the mix. I know that Avino's been working with the squad now, but they just continue to put BabyBay on the neon. And we know that he likes that agent, sure, but you're just not going to be able to do the same things, right? If you're looking direct comparison, Jet to neon, Narrate to BabyBay, well, that Jet's going to have an op. Very rarely is BabyBay going to have an op. He's just going to be sliding his way on through, throwing up fast lanes, hoping that you're not peeking into it. And getting opt himself, right? So I would love to see some changes there for BabyBay, maybe something a little different than the neon. I don't expect the raise, but we know how strong of a Jet he can be, and we know that we're kind of in a Jet meta. Like, that's what a lot of people are playing right now.
And we're not at the point yet where things can't be changed up. So would love to see some changes so we can see the BabyBay that more so we'd expect coming on into this. But you've heard our thoughts. Now it's time to hear a little bit from our players before we get into our match.
FaZe is like one of those teams that have traditionally, I think it's just the BabyBay factor, right? That guy is just has always been hyper aggressive and almost always been successful with it. And so I can see where you're coming from, yeah.
All the teams and challengers can't be underestimated, right? Mad Lions, I feel like they've found their footing somewhat in challengers, and even though they lost all these series or whatever, but we've seen improvements from series to series, right? So like going into this next split, we definitely like won't underestimate them.
If I was FaZe, I would be, kind of reevaluating and kind of like remaking a lot of our like setups and that kind of stuff. So I see us in like the very same boat as FaZe, where like a lot of stuff's going to be new coming to the split. I think this is going to be a quick match versus FaZe. Yep, I agree with that.
It's possible, yeah. I mean, Valorant is a very snowball-y game, right? So it can really go both ways. If we're not doing our things, in the beginning, and they're up ahead, they can, that can like snowball out of, our favor. So, but definitely, if we do like, if we get like the first few rounds going, and we're doing things right, we definitely can, just steamroll them.
Like we're coming in with two new roster changes. They're coming in with one roster change. They have like they already had like a more puggy kind of aggressive play style a little bit. Like I think that matchup honestly just comes down to who's a little bit more on that day, or who's like gonna stick to their fundamentals more and grief less rounds. Because watching FaZe last season and watching Mad Lions, like there's a lot of that, but.
We definitely need to focus on our fundamentals against like teams like Mad Lions more. I mean not more, because we still need to our fundamentals against like teams like Guard, right? Because like if we don't have our fundamentals, we're just gonna get owned. But against like teams like Mad Lions, we can't just we gotta stick to our fundamentals and not like overthink too hard. You know what I mean? Just play our game, cause yeah, I mean just play our game. That's the only thing I can say.
Let's have a fun game, guys. Let's see who can run it down harder.
Be ready, because we're coming for you.
Okay, if Mad Lions is a scrim team, so is FaZe, man. Like we both gotta prove ourselves there. we both gotta prove we're not scrimmers, man.
I love being able to hear from the players and their perspective, talking about just running it down going into today. Aim's talking about this being a fast match. I don't know our thoughts on it, but hey, I am excited to see some chaos into this. I'm not gonna lie, Dan.
And honestly, I fully believe it. They're about to run it down. They're about to run it down. We just saw a second tweet saying that it was gonna feel a little bit more like a death match. So I feel like it is a possibility with these two teams.
I agree. The reason I agree, though, is because I did talk to Tig last week, and Tig was saying, like, hey, we're still figuring things out. So it's going to look a little scrambled. The roles might look a little different. You have to assume that the same thing for Mad Lions, right? They make the same amount of changes. They bring in two new players in Blackheart and Bjor, and yeah, it's going to be, hey, we're going to have a call at the start of the round, and then from there, I don't know, we're throwing caution to the wind, and whoever comes out on top. Now, FaZe has been a team that usually does better in the scramble. So if I had to put my eggs in any of the baskets, I'd put a few more in the FaZe basket, just because they do like to play that scrappy style.
Well, I'm excited to see where this chaos is going to ensue. So let's pull up our map picks and bans, see how this is going to go down. The first one is going to be Split. This is a FaZe pickup, and I'm actually really excited for this for a couple reasons. First off, Split can be absolutely chaotic. So if we're expecting chaos, well, this is a place to deliver. As well, though, Dan, we haven't gotten to see Mad Lions on Split yet, I believe. So we'll be able to see what they have to offer us here.
Even FaZe, yeah, they haven't played this map too many times. So it's going to be interesting with the new additions to see what changes they've brought to the table. But the two players that feel comfortable on the initiator role, that can help Baby once again set him up for success. But honestly, if I were to think of 3 maps that can be chaotic, it's gotta be these 3.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to that whatsoever. Fracture Pearl for the decider if we manage to get there. From the sounds of it in the video, they don't think that this might go that 3 games, or we're about to have the fastest rounds possible whatsoever. Either way, Tanner, I am here for it.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's an interesting first pick because, as we mentioned, FaZe don't have a lot of time played on Split. I think they have, in Challengers, one or recently just 1 game played on that.
Yeah.
And it didn't look it didn't look the best. They had a pretty strong attacking side, but they got the best that they could on the attacking side. I think that's where they finished the game in their loss. Their defense, I believe it was a 9-3 half. It didn't look incredible. So I am going to be interested because they pick it, so they have to have made some changes. Obviously, we'll see what Tig and Mummy bring to the mix. I'm wondering what they bring in way of what do we see is because we know that Mummy can play the Jet. We know Baby Bay can play the Jet. If Baby Bay doesn't want to play the Jet, maybe that role does fall in the lap of Mummy.
I don't think so.
A Jet up on this map is also something we've seen from Mummy way previously, back in the day.
Yeah.
I think there are a lot of options with the changes made for this team.
Well, this is the players during agent select. So if any of you are good at reading lips, there would be our little sneak peek of what to expect. But now that's, for me, that's where I'm curious with this FaZe squad going in today is Baby Bay. Because it was something that was also referenced by Mad Lions in the video that Baby Bay is this player, but we just need to see the team come around him to be able to unlock that potential then. So I'm hoping with the fact that this is both of these teams looking for that win, looking to not be the team that takes that 0-2, that we can maybe see him unlock.
And one of the things that I'm wondering right now is, yeah, FaZe in paper should be taking a dominant point against Mad Lions, but what happens if that's not the case, right? Is this really surprising knowing how shaky FaZe have been looking against 0-5 in the past 5 matches that they played, struggling to find any victory, any space? So they are really looking for anything, and that anything has to be something from beginning to end that is a statement against Mad Lions.
I do want to mention that as much as we kind of look at FaZe as to be the favorite team, and I said I'm putting my eggs in this basket, I don't think Narrate's going to let that happen.
We'll have to see. Narrate, the young, newer blood to the squad, but is definitely delivered. We'll have to see what him and the team have to offer as it's time for split in our agent select and time for me to leave you. Peace out, guys.
Double Jet here, Triad.
Yep, you know it is.
We get double Jet, baby. Oh, okay. I mean, double duelist at the end of the day. Obviously not double Jet.
I love seeing this, and it is one of the things that I was gonna bring up about split. It felt like with the way that FaZe likes to play, this was a must-have composition on this map. Obviously, couldn't really do it before. Maybe they didn't really feel comfortable, but now with these changes, we're gonna be seeing the double dualism both sides, and so there's big chances here, especially because, yeah, one of the things that you were saying is, yeah, Mome likes to play that Jet. Baby Bay does the same. We don't ever see Baby Bay on the race, so if it was gonna fall for the other duelist into somebody else, you know who it had to be.
And Tig with that crispy camera, really investing in the player cam there. Will also be sporting the sky. This has kind of been the default, I think, that we've seen from a lot of these teams. Some of the times we see teams opt out of specific agents to make sure we can get that Cypher into the mix. So Ancient Poised both going to be on their lurk duty, playing behind their walls. We already see it right now. Across the map is Poised playing out towards A. Meanwhile, 1-3-1 set up here for FaZe as they set their eyes up towards mid momentarily.
Also, one thing about these double duelist composition is that it really is setting us up for what they talked about them running it down, playing so aggressive, coming down to those duels, into those 1v1s between the Jets and the Rays.
Yeah, and Noise heard out towards mid, but since Mad Lions don't see anything else, they want to try and play aggressively here. No way, Narrate. You wouldn't even assume that he's got himself a frenzy. 2 players sprayed down with the single magazine in the frenzy. Ange backs away, gets this space up. Weapon not out though for Mummy, and well, unfortunately he meets his demise as Ange scoops up another. It's 2 kills for Narrate, 2 kills for Ange. And Superman left alone to find 3.
A FaZe team that won very quiet early on, trying to play for contact, but Superman in the meantime good for 3. No idea who player is. Is he gonna do it?
No way. No way. Super, it would take the ace. There's no way, right?
30 seconds left.
There's no chance. 16 HP as well to work with. As a Mutil as well, so there's a good chance. Immediately goes for that rotation. Gets a spike planted towards B site.
The problem is Blackheart has shields. And 1 headshot is not going to do it.
Yeah.
So it has to be perfect from Supa. It has to be more than that. It has to be the ace.
As perfect as he gets for a pistol round 2. There's a good chance here, but like you said, Blackheart definitely benefited for this one.
He's running out of time, though. He's got to get it done. Guy like goes out. Sure, that flash reveals that somebody is somewhere, but where? And there's the headshot. But again, the shields get it done for Blackheart, and Mad Lions secure the pistol.
Oh, and it was so close. Like you said, it came down to who has more HP, who has the shield, who doesn't. And Blackheart are going to take care of it just fine. He got scared for a second time running out, but that guiding light was going to reveal the location. One thing that FaZe tried doing here, right? Playing for contact. Oh, so quiet. And so Mad Lions, they push forward. They expected the push, and they get the pistol.
And a right click that does it, by the way. Those bullets could have literally ended up anywhere else. But one landed on Supa, and that was enough to do the trick.
Don't look like you need early on, but let's see the streak and how far it gets for Mad Lions. Okay. Boomblock actually gonna manage to get Mummy.
Mummy was just hoping to get a little cheeky. Blast packs forward, but is eventually dealt with. Bit of damage onto Trick. Not much more than that. Nice shot from Baby Bay, though. Again, showing that proficiency. I know it's not a Jet thing to find that headshot, but comfortability there for the player as he's got himself this sight. The spike, however, it's still disconnected from the play.
Toxin screen down.
Yeah, still pretty far back as Boy's getting closer and closer, but so is Mad Lions. The 3 players that are going to be pushing together.
Spike planted.
Still going to be fine for the plant.
He's just got a gun. Reveals his position, though. Tries to swing out for another one. Good damage, but Ainge collects 2 once more. Baby Bay has to find 5. I believe total heads on the round here. Oh, a player just behind him. There's another one picked up. A tap onto the spike. 23 HP and a dream. These angles are close. The Sheriff could be good, but the Bulldog just a bit better. Another defuse. A tricky round, but it belongs to Mad Lions.
One of the cool things about these 2 teams is that they actually never face each other, and it feels like it already did. It feels like these players all know each other, but it was never really a chance. They never face each other on that first split because of the way the groups were sorted. They also never, of course, got the chance to see each other at the mid-season face-off. And so it's really a fight to see on this matchup, with the current situation, with the current changes, who was going to come up on top between the 2. Mad Lions, good for 2 rounds. Trying to get this bonus. Trying to stop that aggression as well for FaZe.
Toxic screen. Blocks that flash from finding any value. Mad Lions, their bonus round, it looks like a bonus round. It does not feel great based off of how close that previous one got.
Yeah. And how close the 2 rounds so far have been. I feel like it's going to be this kind of match, right? Into the 1v1s, into the 1v2s to close it out. And kind of the individuals, because of that, shining a little bit more. I know the players, even for both teams, they talked about fundamentals and how strong they had to be for this matchup if they really want to take the lead, if they really want to make it fast, like they feel it could be for the entire series.
Great reveal there. Boombot from Trick. Get some info that players are out towards A main. That flash will further confirm. Oh, Trick was trying to get into a tricky position. Unfortunately, it's spotted out in doing so. Blackheart drops from heaven. Trick still going to play around the Cosmic Divide, and they're spamming it. Eventually, he will peek back through and walk into those bullets. His narrate tries to find something of his own. Unfortunately, goes without. And all of this being heard, muffled, but heard as your Ainge and narrate work their way back into this one, 3v5.
Like I said, the players initially get spotted by that Boombot, which is even hard to do, knowing how raised in that Boombot looks these days, how little it really lasts. But Mad Lions, they couldn't really do anything from it. The Trick was trying to capitalize, was trying to get that forward position, and it was just too late. They will go down, but the round should belong to FaZe. Narrate, the player that we talked about, though.
Last player standing.
Ooh, Ainge on a big angle here. Could have done a little bit more, but he does his job. He gets his one. The round belongs to FaZe, but Mad Lions made sure that it was not a free round at the end of it all. Reinvestment will need to be had.
It should have been a little bit more of the players alive towards the end for FaZe. It was 5 players alive by the time they planted the spike towards A, but one by one they got shot down by Mad Lions, who it seemed like never really had an intention of going for the retake. Like you said, the buy obviously wasn't the greatest, was entirely that bonus. But the exit frags were good enough to make it expensive for FaZe, as Ainge does get the Viper's Pit. Time to hunt towards mid. And that makes this B hit so much more difficult for FaZe. This is a team that likes playing aggressive. This is a team that benefits so much on the attacking side of any map, including split. But the options for where you can push here are so limited.
Poison orb emitting.
And speaking of pushing, look at this narrate all the way through the A side. We're going to play the Rat poised, seemingly ready for this one, and wins it out. Now you have to assume that this A side defense, it might be a little weak if people are pushing their way up. Either way, as you mentioned, this B site is not going to be easy to hit because of that pit out towards mid, but it also doesn't feel good, right, to just have this one-pronged attack into the A side either. So being able to dig out Ainge here in this pit would be huge for FaZe. But seems like it let him live for a moment longer.
Narrate so aggressive as we saw him pushing from that A side. Ends up getting taken down at spawn, and that means a 4v5 to deal with for Mad Lions.
30 seconds left.
Good kill there from Frick. Unfortunately, gives himself up though, stays on the angle, and will be dealt with by Mummy. A pit of their own as Baby Bay looks to walk forward and get that spike planted. Knives will be online after this.
Spike planted.
Definitely not going to be for this round, but any space they can get for FaZe is good. The Viper Spid used both of them into the same round, but for FaZe benefiting them a little bit more for this coastline.
And this is a pretty good gun to have walking into this pit here. Boys, now under fire. He's going to take it down. Shot to the back, though. No way, Mummy gets one with the blast pack, and we find ourselves 1v1 Astra versus Astra, and Supa not going to jump on the angle just yet. Bjorn going to stick this one all the way, and Supa tries to run him down. He hops up for a second, and Supa gets it done. Bjorn hears the footsteps, comes off the spike, and FaZe will tie us up.
If he held it, it seems like it was going to be enough time, but things are going to be tied up 2-2 between these teams at the very end. And FaZe, again, with not too many options, ended up going for the B hit. I can't believe the pack is actually the one to get that multi-kill. I mean, things that you see on this matchup, and you have to be expecting more of those. The buy not looking too good now for Mad Lions. Very expensive one. We talked about as well that Bladestone being available. And the defense wanting to push forward. It's not going to spot anything towards A. It seems like that's a call yet towards B. There's some noise already being made.
Ooh.
Toxin screen down.
And that's one that you wish you could have back there poised.
Yeah.
Fishing it through the nebula smoke and comes up with a star kill there. Ainge is gone. Blades are still online though. Narrate still a problem.
And it has always been a problem, but on this vibe with what's available, it's a little bit harder. The Bladestone though, gonna be good for another one.
And that's a weapon to be had too if they can push up and grab that one. Supa makes sure it's just not an easy feat. 3 kills on the round, and FaZe have this one secured as Blackheart sits only with a goat. Another flash around the corner. 3 players to follow. Sure, they'll be blinded, but boys will be happy to have the kill.
FaZe gonna get ahead for the first time as they make it to 3. And again, the stats for FaZe are kind of insane when it comes to the attacking side, and it just makes sense, right? It's a little bit easier to position Baby Bay and to set him up for success. And even now with this dual duelist, the attacking side is so much more benefited. Now the one player that can shut them down, of course, is going to be Narrate, the player that we talked about on the other side, the other Jin. With the operator now towards this A side, where the hit wants to end up. Grounded. Exactly
and he's
that.
Ready for it right there. We talked about first bloods and how to get them, and it's your Jet opt to do it for Mad Lions. They're fast. FaZe all the way up inside A heaven right now. Stopped momentarily by that nebula smoke. Trailblazer doesn't reveal how many are there. Just that players are still on the angle, but that toxic screen might allow them to leave and look to play elsewhere.
It is so good for Narrate. Knows that the Viper wall is up, and the Jet doesn't necessarily want to go across it right away, so maybe it ends up going down because of it. Quick reaction from Narrate. Still holding on to this A site, as FaZe are forced to adapt without one of their duelists. And end up on this B side potentially. That we mentioned has been very difficult with the tools that Mad Lions has on this defense. The way that they're slowed down, and the way the poise can get some value, but it's gonna be in the long run. It's gonna be at the very end of the round if we see poise finding some success from this position.
Fire in the hole!
Okay, hold on. We go rocket for rocket. One gets sent out. We'll see who gets the value instead. It's just a bit of damage traded back and forth. Good paint shells. Going to force Fjord into an awkward spot. And yeah, time now of the essence. That's the spike to fall. They have to pick it up and continue to deny. As Supa does it once more. Spike in hand. Now to be planted. Narrate.
Spike planted.
The 1v2 is Supa sitting on 5 HP. And he has not given up his position just yet. Tucked away with the spike. Just around the corner is Poise. Narrate to drop down. Pillar to worry about. The footsteps behind him as well. He's going to go back up top. He'll deal with Poise. Now he only needs one more. Supa to try and do it again as he pushes his way through. Supa finds the angle and the round for FaZe.
With 5 HP too, but Superman manages to do it. Having a really good game so far. 12-2 for Superman. And remembering the way that it started with the 4 kills and the pistol. And how it's continued. For Superman, I think really going back to one of the things that they mentioned, understanding kind of how fundamentally they should be playing, how Superman should be staying alive until the very end of the round, and he's doing exactly that.
One of the most important things, we talked about it in our first series, right? Having your controller die immediately. We've seen teams full save with 4 players still alive because their smokes have died. And this Viper utility, it's not a very flexible setup, right? You have it the way that it is here. And, well, Narrate a little flexible as he does the splits and crab walks his way out, finds the kill on the Poise. So kind of little caster curse talking about the Vipers there, but Supa has done a fantastic job in staying alive and doing so much for his team.
In a defense where Mad Lions go for this aggression on A, and they fully commit to it. This time around, it was with more support, of course, from the sky. And initially, at least, paying off.
Trick only has a Bucky, and this is... Yeah, that's not the angle you want to take with the Bucky, unfortunately.
Just to see if there was somebody up close, but far away was the baby waiting around for the time. As Cosmic Divide is going to get activated. The spike once again ending on this B side. Mad Lions trying to fight it.
Spike down B. One enemy
Unfortunately, they just don't have much to fight with, right? Blackheart.
enemy remaining.
Ooh, in a position to try and get this one done. No way, Blackheart!
Now there's some serenity.
No way Blackheart makes that one happen. 1 by 1, he isolates those duels and shuts them down for the 1v3. What a play. And it is also the 3rd time that we see Blackheart in this scenario, being the last one alive.
One enemy remaining.
Pretty much with no chance, nothing to do, but this one was perfect. 3 kills at the end. Wow, what a play for the new player.
Yeah, and look at him. Calm, cool, collected. I thought there's a lot of times, I think we saw it back in maybe the first strike days of Asuna doing something insane. And then the team taking a timeout because Asuna's like, yo, I'm shaking. Do you mind if we call a timeout? That is not one of those timeouts right here. Blackheart, calm, cool, collected here on the player cams as they talk their way through this one. You see Trick getting in the mix there at the end. And yeah, that is a shoot. Okay, there we go. Getting excited.
Let's go.
So the replay of the player cams there. And that could be what they need. As Sierra mentioned earlier on the desk, this is the first time we're seeing Mad Lions as Mad Lions on this map. And even if you said, okay, well, they played it before as Dark Ratio or anything of the sort, they didn't do that with Bjor and Blackheart. Or even Narrate.
Yeah, this is a new version of the team completely, and especially on Split, when we get to see this kind of composition, when we get to see the plays that Blackheart has brought to the table. I think it's still pretty messy for the two teams when you have this double duelist. Even for FaZe, they want to have a comfortable post plan, and they haven't been able to do so. That is just the firepower alone the Mad Lions has.
Well, okay, Blackheart maybe get a little outside of himself there, trying to go aggressive, and there's 4 players around the corner, actually 5 players around the corner. Beautiful flash into heaven that allow Baby Bay to safely waltz his way onto the site through a cloud versus Mummy. Finds first kill on the round, and the A site's been given up over to FaZe.
Poison's off.
I mentioned for FaZe, they haven't been able to play
Spike planted.
this post plan the way that they wanted to, but this might be the round where they're able to do so. The Trailblazer up close to spawning. Superman has to back up. Oh, he has no idea.
Wow, the footsteps. Surely they were in range. No way! Oh! Whoa, whoa.
Oh my god.
I mean, that's just the round.
And Poise had no idea as well, but turns around, gets the kill. That has to hurt for Mad Lions.
Yeah, put that in the Valorant folder of things you hate to see.
Yeah?
That is, no matter who you're a fan of, whether you're a Valorant player or not, you see that play and... Woo! That one, yeah, that one.
You know, shout out to Poise, because he was,
Yeah.
you know, he was right there with the reaction time, and he was also moving right and left, you know, so it was harder to hit. We'll say that.
Yeah, that's what it was, yeah. Yeah, the beautiful
He just
strafing there
knew.
by Poise.
He just
Strafing.
knew that someone was gonna be behind, so he started moving, and you know how it goes.
Need that back.
Yeah, Poised, freshly out of the Matrix, dodges the bullets, finds the kill, and that basically secured the round for FaZe. Meanwhile, a lesser Vi, an operator, and 2 rifles, but have made quick work of our trick, and Blackheart had no way into this next round. Ainge gets one back, but the backstab is there. Bjorn Narrate gonna try and hang on. I think mostly Narrate is gonna try and hang on. He's still got that operator.
If there's gonna be someone holding on to this round, it's gonna be Narrate. With a lot of the rounds that we've seen for FaZe, especially when it gets contested early on, they end up on this B site. For Narrate, is gonna be way now up close. There's a chance though, but you can potentially only get one, and immediately having to back up.
He gets his one, he gets away. Bjor is here. But, I mean, Bjor... Yeah, can only hope to help, but a little bit. Now,
30 seconds
maybe
left.
not as all. Just gonna try and play buffer between FaZe and Narrate, who wants to save the op. Oh, wait a second.
Yeah.
Dude, if Narrate finds the spike here, they might not have enough time for this. This could, I mean,
10
FaZe
seconds
just
left.
beat themselves. Oh, FaZe just beat themselves. FaZe just beat themselves.
There's no time. That is exactly what I was gonna talk about. We see the kill, right, for Narrate very early on. And that was it felt like the immediate call, right? The operators on the B side. There's 2 players alive. We gotta go. We gotta run it down on the A side. But it seems like, I don't know, different ideas, different decisions. They go for the rotate way too late. And there was just not enough time for FaZe.
How much of that is FaZe just making a silly call at the end of that round?
Different
Or-
ideas, maybe? Different plans that they had? Still trying to commit, still trying to contest the operator?
Or
But
do
it
they
just fell.
respect Narrate that much, right? To think the 3 of us aren't going to be enough to run him down. There's no way. We just need to avoid the op. So
But
they
they
rotate.
took too long.
And they took too long. Yeah, that is a crazy round.
There was so much time in between when Narrate got the kill and the chance that they had for the rotate to have enough time. So yeah, that is a crazy round for FaZe to not find success on after everything they did early on towards that mid side. As we move into the next round, Narrate once again trying to play aggressive. Good spot one player here.
Nice spot on the way out. Operator up close and personal. Good dash from Baby to stay alive. And now they've spotted where Narrate is, and they will give him that respect and head elsewhere.
And how quick is it going to be this time? Because now all the players for FaZe are a little bit more spread around this map, and Tig goes down because of it.
30 seconds left.
Ooh, and I was going to say, Angel's flirting with the idea of putting this one down, and he does pit out towards mid. So if you want to split this site,
20 seconds.
you got to do so through the swamp. And yeah, time of the essence once more. Cloud bursts out, Mummy to follow right behind it. He's got the spike in hand, trick inside the Nebula, and then sure, they're finding kills. They're spraying people down, but Mummy has to get that spike planted. He does get spotted as he jumps on through. A flash just on the other side. He's going to look to stick and Noah hop off for a second. And again, Mad Lions punish FaZe for working the clock, and they tie us up.
And it's 2 rounds in a row, right? With a little bit more delay for FaZe than you would expect. And it's getting pretty uncomfortable for FaZe as they had the lead after the pistol round. They took all the advantage, and after that, they lost it. With 2 very unfortunate rounds. And it feels like it hasn't even been... You know, we talked about Narrate, big win condition. It put up a fight last week as Mad Lions were losing. And still is performing very well, but it's not even him getting the kills, right? It's spotting him and FaZe in the weird kind of mid-round call-out where you don't see them reacting from it immediately. You don't see that early contest, but though you don't see that early rotation. So it seems like, yeah, it could be different plans that are just not working out for FaZe for them to lose the 2 rounds. And then team as well, FaZe like to play it so fast, but have been slowed down so well. I mean, we saw the Astro Star, we saw the smoke, we saw Trick even just throwing the packs into the smoke, creating any delay possible for FaZe. So a little bit of the 2, and a chance here for Mad Lions to once again take control of the game.
Wow. Okay, so FaZe coming out of that timeout are going to have to find a way to make that play, but do it a little bit quicker. They can't continue to run that clock down and leave as many players of Mad Lions as they have in stable positions. This one starts just as slow, still a poison cloud to work with towards mid, and I mean that orb has just done so much. Ainge has been so strong in this position.
Yeah, this defense towards mid has been shutting down the aggression for FaZe over and over again.
Toxin screen down.
And again, a slow start early on for FaZe. A little bit less than a minute remaining, and this is what Mad Lions like to do. They like to play this long game at the end for the defense, throwing all that late utility. I mean, Mame is gonna have the showstopper for FaZe. That's gonna create a little space towards B where they have attempted to go. And first, the Seekers coming through.
30 seconds. They will decide to hit this B site. Out comes the rocket. Mummy clearing angles, but finding nothing. So plenty of time to get this spike planted. A free site, really no contention thus far. Tig will get that one down. Working towards those Seekers once more. Out comes the Viper's pit from Poise. This round just got a whole lot harder here for Mad Lions. They're gonna work through it. Narrate the first one through. Baby Bait cuts down one. Tig will find another. Blackheart goes fishing through the swamp and finds a pretty large catch in Tig, but 4 more players to worry about. Up close and personal is the right click. Yor is gone. Now Blackheart and Ainge gonna work their way back into this, but I mean, it just got so much harder. The only 2 that remain for the Mad Lions squad, and they look to save their rifles.
And a good play for FaZe. It seems like the Mad Lions, they knew this play was gonna come through, especially with the Seekers. They were ready to back up. They did just that, but accounting for the Viper's pit and how you have to take a space with that ultimate being available and being utilized is a different story. So FaZe, once again, they take the lead. They go back to having control of this match, of this half.
That is
Yeah.
Tough times there for Narrate. Dashes through, tries to cause some chaos to allow his team to funnel behind him, and he runs right into Baby Bay. So no longer a worry is the Jet of Mad Lions, and the rest of the round, well, it went as expected.
And this is aggressive here for Narrate. Recently, he's been getting a little bit more support from Blackheart. It's gonna be the same case, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be an operator. The rifles are gonna do the job. The phantoms are gonna do the job just fine to meet the aggression of FaZe towards A.
And with clear skies out towards A main, Trick says, hey guys, can I get, you guys mind if I get, I know you guys are in the middle of combat, but do you mind if I come over and grab this orb? I'd love to get this ult online, and that's exactly what happened. Showstopper available, and only 3 alive for FaZe right now, and one of which is still all the way across the map. Supa's still trying to sell something out towards B.
Him alone is difficult, and we see the Blackheart goes for the B side right away. Should be spotting the Astra. And no way, the Showstopper.
Charges left. Spike down A.
Yeah, I mean, he just lost the round, though, it seems. Narrate finally dug out, spike down, the rotates come on through, but still, it's only one player. Cosmic Divide.
30 seconds left.
Taps a spike, hops off for a second. Now the footsteps are being heard, and he's not even going to get the spike planted. He has to just try and fight, and Bjor sprays him down. Now it's all up to Supa, who has to be the hero again. No shots go wide. Spike is out of reach. Time.
Pulling them in.
And as he pushes through, he'll find Bjor. Blackheart there on the trade, and Mad Lions tie us up as we swap sides.
Switching sides.
Mad Lions out, we never really got a chance to see it on this map before. And delivering what feels like it's just enough rounds on the defense.
Get out of my way. One enemy remains. Seconds left. Spike.
Yeah, that might have been enough.
Yeah, and part of it just Narrate being able to be in the right place, right time,
Enemy remains.
and just putting that pressure. It seems like it goes back to what you said, right? A lot of respect giving to Narrate. Even without the operator, there's some cool ideas to set him up and to put him into these forward positions. Now the question is FaZe gonna do the same with Baby Bay? Is FaZe gonna do the same with Mummy? Because in a lot of scenarios, it doesn't seem like it's the case. When we've seen this team on split, when we've seen this team trying to allow Baby Bay to frag out, but in so many times it just gets shot down.
Well, these could be huge paint shells here. Out they go. They don't find as much value as expected there. Baby Bay takes some fall damage on the Jet. Walk away from this one. Blackheart brings a regrowth into this, so the rest of the team just topped off after that early skirmish.
Has been doing so constantly, making sure the team is as good as they can be for the kills. But Poise, in the meantime, towards mid, ends up going down.
A great smoke timing there, too, from Baby Bay. You don't just want to sit there and spam the Sheriff like you can the Ghost, like you can the Ghost and the Frenzy. Bjor gonna try and pick up the pieces here to this one, but Mummy won't allow it. It got dangerous, but it belongs to FaZe.
Another one that turns into a 1v1, and FaZe come up on top just from it. Right after Ainge got 2 massive picks, it was the call to go into the B side after he got the first. All the time now, FaZe capitalized from it. This is now the half, though, for FaZe that they always struggle with. No matter the map, defense is just not their strength. Now, they have 2 new players, that being Mame and Tig. And this new core with this new idea of FaZe, they have a chance to change their stats around. They do so early on with the pistol. Scary.
Good stars. Forces Superman off the angle. Allows for this space to be taken for the squad. And, well, the Viper's the closest to the ultimate, so that is where the orbs will go for now.
And just from that utility, not really finding any kill. The positioning now towards that mid side, and FaZe in the meantime, Baby waiting for it. The stars are great.
I mean, how is that happening though?
Spike down,
Kill
mid.
still bounce in the classics. Today has been a great day for classic
enemy remaining.
users. An even better one here for Spectre users for FaZe, and now you just have to assume, yeah, if the Viper wasn't lurking, the Astra is. Legs get spotted, they get shot, and FaZe will secure that second round.
Given 3 out of the Spectres into this bonus round for FaZe. As Mad Lions finally are going to get a chance to show us what they got. Again, they haven't played this map. You're playing with this double duelist. And on the attacking side, that's when you're expecting to see a little bit more of Trick. That has been fairly quiet so far. But with the double satchel and the way that he's able to complement Narrate just to get that side control is a good opportunity for Mad Lions.
This
Very
would be a confidence booster for FaZe to win this one. They have a bonuses here. Yeah, fast out towards mid Trick. I mean, I feel like that right there, the little rope trick to go down quietly, that's something that every player needs to have in their arsenal.
I know, I've seen it so much recently. And it's good. More and more players doing it. Can secure kill, can secure a round, just a little bit of timing, especially when you get to see them fracture, but here too on split.
Stars are down, flashes out, Spectre in
Doesn't
hand,
clear
Judge
it.
right behind it, and yep, Narrate goes down. That's gonna be the go button to go elsewhere for Mad Lions, but there's still players waiting for him.
And just like we saw FaZe going slow, it was the same case for Mad Lions. That means that FaZe on this defense are
Spike
set up to
down,
be in the
mid.
right position. They don't
30
rotate
seconds
too
left.
early.
No
And they don't
way.
clear it again.
Again, they don't clear that angle, and they get punished for it.
One enemy remaining.
Twice. And he said it was going to be the confidence booster here for FaZe if they were able to secure that bonus round. Well, guess what? They did that. They managed to do it just from, it seems like the first kill into Narrate as he doesn't clear the corner. And then, yeah, the same thing. That repositioning. I mean, to be fair, you're not expecting a player, especially a different player, to be in that angle. But it is what it takes for FaZe to take that stronger lead.
And, I mean, a sticks and stones vibe, but a pretty good start. Narrate finds Baby Bay. This would be a good way to break some of that confidence. It wouldn't quite break the economy as there's just so much of it. Pure finishes that kill out on the Tig. A ghost in hand, a Viper's Pit that's down, a spike planted. I mean, this... Okay. Okay, Mad Lions. They're not done yet.
What? And the round had to be fast, where the aggression was going to be met by Baby Bay, and he ends up being the one getting taken down early on for the duel that we talked about, that head-to-head that we talked about early on the Narrate against Baby Bay. Trying to catch the timing into the two.
Last player standing.
I almost saw it. But yeah, no chance, and with the buy that they had, Mad Lions, they get the round.
And sticks and stones, they turn them into slingshots. They get it done. They also find some upgrades on the way out. So much like that FaZe economy that was bolstering. Doesn't look too bad on the side of Mad Lions just yet. And 2 ultimates online matched by the 2 of FaZe. And with that, Mad Lions, they call this timeout.
The 2 times that we've seen Mad Lions get a timeout is after they win a round.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a big round for them as well. A round that shuts down scary momentum for FaZe. For the last one, they made it pretty close for the first half. But for Mad Lions, I feel like it goes back to something that I mentioned, Trick. On this race that has been pretty quiet. We've been talking about Narrate. We've been talking about Blackheart. The Trick has a big role into this one if they want to come back, if they want to make things even, and then even get this map of Split. It was a map chosen by FaZe.
And finding out what works, right? You can't just slam into the site over and over again. It worked for the last round, sure, but Mad Lions obviously having that conversation of how do we make it work now in this next one. Pure early contact inside B main, but it's all an elaborate ruse, as Baby Bay will also be waiting there for them to push with an op in hand.
Are they going to be pushing the... Does not seem like it's going to be the case early on, especially after those timeouts. Definitely, and between these two teams, you are expecting that aggression after the timeout, but nothing to be found early on. The Trailblazer is going to be clearing all the way
I've got your trail.
towards Vans, and that's going to give the space for Trick.
Grenade!
Seekers are out. Ooh, okay. On both sides, Seekers will be used. It does confirm players up inside heaven here for the attack of Mad Lions. Taking it back away. Snakebite goes through. He's just around the corner, but he's dealt with. Showstopper used. Trick to go up and over the top. Can he find the kill? No, he can't. Mummy instead to collect. Paint shells go out. A satchel. Oof, right into the face of two. Almost two as Mummy. Not quite giving up this position just yet. He's got help around the corners. Players swing on up. Out comes Supa. But no trade found, and it's left all up to Baby Bay with the operator in hand. Player and Bjor just around the corner. He hears that spike plan, and he's going to head the opposite way.
Entered.
In this defense, one of them being inside of that smoke, not being able to swing out, and not getting the timing right, going for the fight, not even expecting the two players of Mad Lions to be pushing and to be so close to them. Yeah, Baby Bay with his operator is gonna go for the save. Mad Lions, after the timeout as well, find some success. But honestly, all these rounds have been so messy, so expensive between the two.
Very messy.
The idea is though for Mad Lions, I like what we saw early on. The Trailblazer getting used just to clear out that space and give that positioning for Trick. Yeah, he ends up going down, but it seems like that was the one thing that we needed to see him do. So yeah, Mad Lions get to 8.
Yeah, they bring us within 1. They break up that 3-round win streak after losing their full buy into the FaZe bonus, right? They have that scrappy buy. They pick that one up. They get the next one off the back end of their timeout, but now they have to keep it going. Mummy did expend the showstopper in the last, but Boyd is postured up here out towards A to make this one less than desirable to push with that Viper's pick.
And when we got to see it before on the other side, it was this ultimate towards that mid side. Now securing and making sure nobody's going to be contesting this A side, as it doesn't matter. Mad Lions still going for this B hit.
Yeah, paint shells for paint shells. Narrate gets spotted. Does survive for now. With that, FaZe will give up the site with confidence they can retake it.
Satchel up.
No, 5v5, it seems like we haven't seen this one before. Well, Baby Bay having to retake with this operator. It seems like this is often the problem. Baby Bay trying to find some early success, doesn't spot anyone with the operator, doesn't get the kills, and so the retake becomes a lot more difficult to deal with.
I mean, impossible. They barely even moved, and they're about to be out of time. Flash is on the backside. The clock continues to tick, tick, tick. As Trick only finds 1. Only 2 remain. Flash out. The push comes through. Blackheart's dealt with Ainge to take one with the snake bite. Is that spike halfway? Yes, it is. Once more hopping on it. Poise has just enough time. And FaZe, it looked like they fell asleep, but right into the belly of the beast were Mad Lions. They woke them up, and they'll find their 10.
And the time was running out, but FaZe answers good enough, just in time. With the distraction as well, they clear up close with the util, then they go in for the hit, and they go massive for that retake. Double digits now for FaZe, and Mad Lions, it really felt like they had an advantage. They got a kill with a snake bite at the end, but too much pressure for Ainge to deal with.
crazy how FaZe were literally given no information. They throw out a guiding light, it doesn't pop and reveal anybody, and they still work their way onto the site and win the fights necessary with enough time.
Yeah,
that is a beautiful retake.
Is good. They clear up close, then they know they have to go far away.
Wow, okay, Supa, I mean, not gonna get dug out of this position.
remaining.
He looks away from the flash perfectly.
down, B.
Mad Lions say, hey, it worked in the last round. Why not try it again? This time, not as much success. Ainge tosses out what bit of utility he has left. Boombot dealt with 2 players just around the corner, and Ainge walks away from this fight with 8 HP. Rifle in hand with no economy to buy into the next.
Poison's off.
And this is way too much time to try and save. We'll see if Ainge can even make it out of this round.
Has a spike, but like you said, so low, 8 HP to work with. In pretty much every angle on that B side being watched. Knowing there's going to be a possibility of Ainge going for a spike planted towards
left.
A, but not easy at all. Even with all the time, because everything this time around got to happen so fast, and one player that went massive again was Superman, right? With the angle so far back into the backside, almost didn't catch the timing to get the stars activated, but does so, and with that, every single one of the players for Mad Lions went down. FaZe, they take kills closer and closer to the finish line of split. Mad Lions have some tools to work with, though.
And they do have a few ultimates to play. A couple to take the site, and then 1 to secure it. I do want to mention the 6th sense that Mummy had there, just saying, you know what, maybe I'm not in the best position. I'm going to sneak away from it. He blast packs towards the site and eventually makes the right call there. So big ups to Mummy for having that awareness. Helping secure the round for FaZe. Narrate and friends are out towards mid. Bladestorm online here. This is a very scary Narrate.
We've seen what Narrate is capable of doing with that Bladestorm, with that ultimate. But in a round like this one, could be a different story. BB holding with this operator towards the B site. And slowly, the FaZe side backing up, giving more space for the hit to come through for Mad Lions.
Scout destroyed.
And now they know.
Bit of info. Knives on the front foot here. Smoke goes out and allows them to cross out towards the site. Unbeknownst to Mad Lions, no players here from FaZe are directly on this site, so Trick pop out the showstopper. Doesn't find anything just yet, and with that FaZe, everybody backing away to make sure there's no value on this one. So the 2 ultimates to take the site, they've been used. The one to hang on to it has also gone down. On the inverse. FaZe looking to get back into this one quick. Look at this. They've got some ults of their own. Cosmic Divide goes down. Straight on the wrong side of it. Gonna look to push forward. Blackheart dealt with on the back line. Cloudburst goes out. Down goes Bjorn. Narrate able to trade that one back, but 1 for 2. It's not favorable thus far for Mad Lions. Ainge falls. So does the pit. And it's all up to Trick, but he's been dealt with. FaZe again in the retake. Looks so darn good.
And with a baby having to use the Bladestorm at the very end, but FaZe, yeah, like I said, looking good. And looking different too. We mentioned it early on. This defense has been a struggle for FaZe before the previous phase, but now a little bit more consistent. 6 rounds that they've been able to get on this half so far, and 1 round away from taking that map lead 1-0. With the Mad Lions have some right ideas early on. It seems like into the late round, that's when the struggle comes up. Even with a 5v5 retake, even with the ultimates that they get invested into it, it just doesn't seem to be enough. A good chance here for FaZe to close it out.
Tig. Ooh, okay, Tig
Spike
still
down
gets
A.
one. Not even the intended target. Blackheart,
Yeah.
unfortunately, just gets randomed. Since he's shooting at Trick, who also down to 60 HP. Next up is Poise, and there are
Oh, that's scary.
4 players on the other side, and He's been quickly dealt with, so this round's not as easy for FaZe to close us out. Paint shells follow. Here comes a showstopper. Mummy wants to end it right here, right now, and he does heaps of damage. One of the players of Mad Lions cuts it down. An even 3v3. Baby Bay with a beautiful shot will take down his counterpart. Now Bjordange, the controllers here, have to get it done to try and hang on. 50 seconds on the clock. Mummy up on the high ground, taken off the top ropes. There's life yet here for Mad Lions.
And two very different positionings here. Superman gonna get a timing into it. Okay.
Spike planted.
Gonna find the answer right away. A 1v2 to deal with for Mad Lions to stay on this map.
Recovering it.
So difficult here for Bjor. But just lulled right into complacency. This is what FaZe does. They make you think that they're taking too much time. Instead, it's just the right amount. They give it a second. They let it breathe. They make Bjor wonder, and they get it done. Another retake that goes the way of FaZe. Their defense looking up as they take the first map in the series.
And it started more back and forth, but at the end, FaZe taking that lead and not letting it go for this map of Split. It is a map of Split that it needed to go the way of FaZe. Their map pick, but besides that, with the composition and everything that seemed to go the way of FaZe. And again, Mad Lions had some cool ideas, had some right ideas, even for the mid control that FaZe couldn't even ever contest in the first half. But that late round, even that retake, 5v5 retake that we got to see twice, it was always FaZe coming up on top.
And these, some of these retakes look scary, but again, they did a good job of... Even for me here on the desk, I'm sitting, I'm watching, I'm thinking, FaZe, when are you going to pull the trigger? I'm sure Mad Lions are thinking the same thing, right? When are these guys going to go? And before you know it, it's just like they're attacking the site, right? They're right in your face. Util aplenty. They find the kills. Mummy really stepping up big, filling this duelist role, this secondary duelist role that we know he has in his back pocket. Yeah, FaZe get it done. That's only one map, though, right? This is one that they wanted to play, though, right? This is a split where I think not only did they think that they could get a win here against Mad Lions, but they wanted to show us, Triad, you and I we've had the pleasure of casting all FaZe forever, basically, in Split 1 and Mid-Season Face-Off. I believe we've got them for a long time moving forward as well. But they show us, right, that they have righted their wrongs on this map of Split. It's not the same FaZe of old, and they look pretty darn good on it. But as we said, that is only one map here. We've got 2 to go, Dryad. You know that we're in for a 3-mapper. That's just the Tandan way here on the broadcast. That is. It's just our way. We always get 3. So stay with us. Hang out in the chat. Don't move your feet or move your butts from the seats, because we'll be back right after this short break.
Yo, check it out. Want to know if the price of those Wave Runners is too good to be true? Or if I Wear My Kicks 49 is truly selling dead stocks? Or if that Jordan 1 Royal Box is original? eBay checks. See that little blue check mark? Behind it is a team of independent authenticators who check. And we mean everything. Every tongue, check. Every toe box, check. Every corner of every box, check, 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 check. Every logo, every label, every lace loop. Yeah, it's checked. The luster of the leather, the topography on the tags, to the straightness of the stitching on the sole. Everything you can see, and even some things you can't.
Really?
Then they tag them, log them in the system, box them up, and ship them out, with no cost for the buyer or seller. eBay checks, so the moment you open that box is as real gets.